Today, we step into Africa's very first self-powered EV factory, and what we witnessed shocked everyone who saw it. The camera gives the first view, sweeping across a huge, futuristic plant. Robots weld metal with sparks flying, mechanical arms piece together vehicles with perfect precision, and conveyor belts carry the world's first self-powered cars forward. These cars generate their own endless supply of electricity. This isn't just a production line. It feels like a mix between Tesla's massive gigafactory and something from a futuristic film. The vehicles themselves look unusual. There are no big battery packs, no charging sockets, just sleek, silent machines filled with unseen innovation. Reporters from America, Europe, and Asia walk in stunned silence. Some whisper to themselves, "If this is real, the world will never be the same." At the center of the factory, a huge glass case shows the secret, a dismantled model of the self-charging power system. It doesn't use fuel, not sunlight, not regular batteries. Engineers explain that it works on free energy concepts that mainstream science dismissed for decades as impossible nonsense. An American specialist shakes his head in disbelief and mutters, "I've spent my life designing EV batteries and this car doesn't even need one." The guide looks at the crowd of visitors and says, "This place isn't just about making cars, it's about building freedom." Within hours, the news spreads across the planet. Headlines appear instantly. Africa launches the world's first self-powered car factory. Tesla and Toyota experts speechless after visiting. The end of oil. The announcement shakes markets. Investors scramble. Oil companies call emergency meetings. Some claim it's fake. Others admit this might be the beginning of a completely new era. But those who were inside know exactly what they saw. It was real. Finally, the group is taken outside to a hidden test track. Shining new self-powered cars line up under the bright African sun. Their engines hum softly. Doors shut, and in an instant they shoot forward with incredible acceleration. Cameras shake as journalists try to capture the moment. The cars don't slow. They don't stop. They glide forward faster, smoother, without pause. As the convoy of vehicles disappears into the horizon, one engineer turns quietly to the group and says, "This is only the start." The cars tear down the test track, sharper and faster than anything the journalists had seen before. But what truly shocks them is not the speed. It's the silence. No roaring engines, no buzz of charging batteries, only a soft, endless hum, almost unearthly. One reporter whispers into his microphone, "These cars are not slowing down. They are not burning fuel. It feels as if they are pulling energy from thin air." The engineers monitoring the track exchange knowing looks. These vehicles had already run non-stop for more than 24 hours in private trials. This was the first time the whole world could see it, and hidden cameras placed throughout the facility were streaming it live. Within minutes, millions were watching. The internet exploded with comments. "This must be fake." "If this is true, oil is finished." "Where can I buy one of these cars?" Meanwhile, energy executives in boardrooms across America and Europe slammed their fists on the table. How had a factory in Africa, unknown to the world, beaten them to a future they had promised for years but never delivered? An African engineer steps forward to explain. "For over 100 years, people have told you that free energy was a fantasy. Today, you see proof. Our vehicles draw from a natural, constant source of power that surrounds us all. It was ignored because it threatened the wealthiest industries on Earth." Gasps echo through the crowd. Some reporters scribble desperately into notebooks. Others simply stare in disbelief, their eyes wet with emotion. Governments begin to react. Demands for an immediate investigation pour in. Surveillance drones circle the track. Military planes are spotted nearby, but inside the factory, the engineers remain calm. They expected this moment. One of them says, "This is more than just a car, it's a message, and no one can undo what's already started." By the same evening, the African EV factory becomes the most talked about subject on Earth. News hosts argue on live television. Experts debate the science. Social media fills with clips of the endless test run. But behind the excitement, pressure is building. Oil giants, car makers, and world leaders call urgent meetings. A leaked conversation from an energy CEO is chilling. If this spreads, our trillion-dollar empire collapses overnight. We must contain it. The next morning, newspapers push back. African car hoax? Fake energy myth returns. Scientists dismiss impossible claims. Paid experts appear on TV calling it nonsense. Some even insist the cars must be hiding fuel tanks. But the live broadcast tells another story. The cars are still running without any fuel or recharge. Inside the control room, engineers study a glowing map. Red dots flash, showing drones and foreign planes circling them. The convoy will leave the factory, not for testing, but for a full journey across Africa. They will prove the cars work beyond doubt. At sunrise, a shining line of self-powered vehicles drives out of the gates. Reporters follow in chase cars. Villagers stand by the roadside, waving flags and cheering. Drones film overhead. Crowds chant, "Africa rises!" The live stream grows from thousands to millions of viewers. The demonstration is becoming a revolution. The convoy cuts across highways like silver lightning. No stops. No refueling. People stand on rooftops and fields recording videos as the fleet passes by. In cities like Lagos and Nairobi, huge screens show the event live. The world chants, "Africa powers itself." But danger grows. Foreign planes hover above. Secret reports leak out. If this continues, Africa will control the future of energy. Stop it before it spreads. Strange vehicles tail the convoy. Drones try to jam the live stream, but the cars carry their own encrypted network, each one streaming data to the next, impossible to block. In Washington, London, and Beijing, leaders grow nervous. Economists warn of collapse. Advisors talk about interventions. One U.S. official is overheard saying, "If we cannot buy this technology, we must break it. Otherwise, power shifts forever." On the ground, however, ordinary Africans rejoice. Farmers, teachers, students, all wave flags and run alongside. The convoy is no longer just a test. It is a rebirth. But as the convoy reaches the Sahara Desert, sabotage begins. The live stream suddenly cuts to black. Panic spreads across the internet. What happened? Did they shut them down? Behind the scenes, foreign forces jam signals. But the cars continue rolling, engines glowing faintly under the desert night. Inside the lead vehicle, the chief engineer whispers, "Let them try. The truth cannot be hidden." After hours of silence, the live stream returns. The world sees the convoy not just moving, but climbing dunes, gliding across impossible terrain, never slowing. The sabotage has failed. The technology cannot be stopped. At the edge of the desert, the lead engineer gives a final command. Full power. The vehicles stop. Their hoods glow, and suddenly they light up an entire mobile village. Water pumps start, lights flicker on, refrigerators hum, and a giant screen flashes the words, "Africa does not borrow power. Africa is power." Markets shake. Oil prices crash. Energy giants hold all-night emergency meetings. But in Africa, celebrations erupt. Streets fill with joy. Airports rename terminals. Schools add new lessons about the invention. A new chapter begins, one where Africa no longer follows the world. It leads it. As the day ends, the chief engineer stands on a balcony gazing at the cheering crowd. His words are carried across every network. This is not just a car. It is proof that the sun does not only rise in the west. Today it rises from Africa. The convoy lights glow in the distance, shining like new stars across the desert. And as the story closes, one truth is certain: the self-powered revolution has begun.